Hey everyone, Blaze here. Welcome to a Discotek Otakon panel overview video, although hopefully not in the traditional sense of the way I used to do these videos. Hopefully not too long, too long anyway. And yeah, like you can watch the panel. It's archived on their YouTube channel. Link in the pinned comment or description or whatever. Like, you want to go and watch this panel, you still can, thanks to the powers of YouTube. Because when they did them on Twitch, they were never archived. Like, at most, they would be archived for like a few days and then it would just disappear. But yeah, now you can go back and watch them. As long as they don't get copyrighted or whatever, they'll still be available. So yeah, link in the description if you somehow haven't seen it already. Because yeah, this video is basically just been me talking to fellow collectors like you out there that just want to kind of spitball about what came out. Or what was announced anyway and will be coming out. So yeah, I'm looking at my iPod over there because I've got every single thing listed in order that was announced. Should we just get into it? We should just get into it. I'm going to be doing all the anime stuff first. And probably like the Tokusatsu and Nihon Nights live action stuff at the end. Because, you know, anime is what I care about the most. We'll get into the Tokusatsu stuff because I have some things to say about that. Anyway, so the panel in terms of anime started with Lupin, the Italian game. This is the last Lupin TV special that's coming out. Discotek would have released them all in some form, be it DVD or Blu-ray. So yeah, Lupin the Third, the Italian game, is a TV special I have seen before. I think, yeah, I saw it before I actually watched Part 4. So, because I just had no idea. I had no idea that it was basically one of the early arcs from Lupin the Third Part 4 with a couple new scenes to kind of help it blend together into a TV special 90-minute feature. So yeah, it's basically 3 of the episodes plus, you know, about 10, 15, 20 minutes of new scenes that kind of, yeah, get everything to go together. It's going to come out subtitled only. It's coming out in literally like a month or two, maybe even next month. And yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird to have collected them all. I hope to get the last 3 that I'll need at this point. It would be this one and the 2 that just came out recently. Getting stuff off Crunchyroll at the moment. That was something I was hoping Discotek would cover in this panel. Like, hey, maybe we're going to put our releases out somewhere else as well, because, or like open our own store, which I know a lot of people tell me, oh, they don't need to do that, oh, it's expensive. I'm like, well, Media OCD are doing it. I know it's not quite the same because Crunchyroll, Discotek have way more stuff, but like the Crunchyroll situation, it's just a trash fire, man. This isn't the video to get into it, but it's just like, it's so frustrating trying to buy stuff at the moment, because like, especially with Discotek stuff, like things are out of stock all the time and you can't back order. You have to wait for things to be in stock. And like, I'm sitting there waiting to get free shipping on stuff, so obviously I want to spend, I can't remember what it is, $50 or $75, I can't remember which one it is. But like, you have to spend a certain amount to get the free shipping. I think it's 50. And yeah, like, it's just frustrating because I want to pick up a bunch of things at once, and it's like almost impossible for all of those things to be in stock at the same time. Yeah, it's a nightmare. But anyway, it'll be really, really cool to finally complete the Lupin collection TV specials. That's 26 TV specials. And also, it's Discotek with this. Apart from the most recently released Lupin, Cat's Eye crossover, and like some really obscure like flash animation and shorts or whatever, like with this Italian game TV special or whatever, between Discotek and Sentai, like everything Lupin's out, like, which is mental. They said they have some Lupin coming in the future still. I'm hoping for the Cat's Eye crossover. They said that was so close to being announced, or they said something was so close. I think it was Lupin related. I can't remember if they, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if that was when they were talking about Lupin, but something was so close to being able to be announced but couldn't be at the time. And I just wonder if it was a Cat's Eye crossover, because literally a 2 day, like yesterday as of recording and a couple of days after the panel, a Cat's Eye crossover left at Amazon Prime jail. It was suddenly available on like lots of other streaming services and available to buy digitally and things like that. So makes me wonder if that's what's coming next. I really hope it is. I hope it comes out from Discotek, given that they have Cat's Eye on Blu-ray as well, and it just, you know, I would prefer it to come out from Discotek rather than Sentai, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, hopeful for that, and I don't really know what else to expect going forward. Like, maybe the live action film on Blu-ray kind of makes sense, I guess. Like, there's also the 2015 version, which I do have on Blu-ray. I got from Australia. It came out in Australia, so I'm sort of hopeful for that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's the oh, my brain's going at 1,000 miles an hour now. Yeah, the getting the old DVD only TV specials, like the second, the third, and the fourth one, I believe, are all, yeah, those are all currently DVD only. And then the Alcatraz Connection and the Operation Return to Treasure are all DVD only at the moment. Green vs. Red, I'm hoping will come to Blu-ray and get a dub as well, because I think they could do a really fun dub with that, given that, you know, there are multiple actors that have played Lupin. You know, there's multiple Lupins in that special, or at least 2 anyway. So yeah, they could have some fun with that. They could have, you know, the Lupin voice actor from the Genian dub, the Pioneer dub, his name escapes me right now. And then they could also have the voice actor who played Lupin in the Takeshi Koike, in the Takeshi Koike stuff. I literally had to go and look it up. I had Koike in my mind, but I just couldn't. I wasn't confident enough. But yeah, in the Koike, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, in like his specials, there's a different Lupin. In the ones that Discotek put out of his specials, there's a different Lupin voice actor compared to the Pioneer ones. So they could use those 2 actors in Green vs. Red, which I think would be fun. Yeah, anyway, yeah, Lupin the Third Italian game. I didn't want to spend too long on everything, so we really need to keep this pace going. So we're already nearly 8 minutes in. What the hell? Anyway, okay. So the second thing is 8 minutes in. What the hell? Okay. So the second thing is Captain Harlock is coming to Blu-ray. I'm really, really mixed on this. Not in a bad way necessarily. It's more that I'm not, like, this isn't Discotek's fault. I'm really frustrated that Toei keep being fucking Toei. Like, Toei are basically the biggest name in freaking anime in Japan, right? At least historically. And they kind of have that name recognition as a result, you know? Just been around forever, kind of killing it forever, you know, sort of thing, especially in like the shonen space. Like, their properties are some of the biggest properties, anime-wise, like, worldwide. You know, worldwide, basically, you know. Freaking Saint Seiya, I don't know why that came to mind first, but whatever. You know, Saint Seiya, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sailor Moon, Captain Harlock, Galaxy Express 3-9, freaking Mazinger Z, like, all that stuff, Devilman, like, they worked on all this shit, right? All this amazing stuff that is revered around the world. And, like, out of all those ones I just mentioned, out of all of their classic shows, all their classic series, Dragon Ball, no, sorry, fuck, why did I say that? Freaking Mazinger Z is the only one that got a proper Blu-ray. And even then they DNR'd it to hell, but at least it was, like, done, like, sourced from the negatives. So, like, it's got no film grain. That's the version that Discotek put out. It's got no film grain, but, like, it's in proper HD. Everything else, literally everything else, Slam Dunk as well, literally everything else has been upscaled on Blu-ray. They've put them all out on Blu-ray. Upscaled, every single one of them. So short-sighted. It's maddening to me. Like, infuriating. Like, it's so short-sighted. I don't get it. Like, the home video market, sure, isn't what it used to be. Like, maybe in Japan especially, I don't know. But, like, remastering these shows isn't just for Blu-ray, it's for longevity. Once you've done it once, you don't need to do it again. Like, once you've gone back to the film negatives and done these in a 2K scan, or even better, a 4K scan, but, like, at least a 2K scan at 1080p from the film negatives, you don't need to do it again. You really don't. Like 1080p will do for these anime, especially, you know, the majority of them, given how old they are. Like, it'll be fine. And that will look amazing forever. And you'll have digital copies of them forever. 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 You know, it's just like, it's infuriating. Because Captain Harlock on Blu-ray, honest to God, guys, doesn't look that great. It might look better than this. I don't know. Discotek were kind of poo-pooing this. I remember it looking fine, but like expectations are different when you put in a Blu-ray, I guess. Like, it looks smeary, soft, like good colours and stuff, which is probably the difference between this one. But like, it has good colours. Like, I've seen what the Japanese Blu-ray looks like decent colours, not amazing, definitely not what a film negative version would look like, because the colours is one of the first things you notice. Like, it still looks like kind of washed out and like grungy, like but like, yeah, like, it'll look fine. It's good it's back in print, which is what matters more than anything. And I like what they did with the packaging. It's going to match Galaxy Express 39, which will look really cool on the shelf, although I don't think that's where I'll be putting it on my shelf, but whatever. It's cool that they're doing that, and it's nice that it's all obviously complete in one set. And I'm just glad it's back in print for people that didn't buy this DVD, which is now kind of expensive. You know, one of my best friends didn't buy the DVD, missed out on it, so he's really psyched that it's coming out again on Blu-ray, and that's great. I'm just frustrated. Again, it's not Discotek at all. Like, it really isn't. Like, it's at Toei. I don't fucking get it. I really don't. Like, do the work, profit, and then you've done it. And then you can profit from it forever. You can stream that shit to the end of time. Like, these shows that are basically the foundations, the pillars of your company. You know, like, in terms of TV anime. Like, these are the ones that people are going to remember you for historically for all time. Other than One Piece as well, obviously, but that was a digital show. Like, original Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Saint Seiya, Captain Harlock, Galaxy Express 39, Mazinger Z, frickin' Devilman, Slam Dunk. Like, all these shows are super important. Did I say Sailor Moon? I can't remember if I did. Like, these are all super important for Toei. The biggest frickin' stuff in town for Toei. Like, historically, you know, you could add Get a Robo to that as well, I guess. I mean, Get a Robo, the Blu-ray, the one thing that Discotek put out that was cel animated was an upscale. I don't know if that was based on a Japanese Blu-ray as well, for Get a Robo Armageddon. And that was only 12 episodes. Like, it's just, it's infuriating, man. It's so infuriating, because, like, there's so many... I wasn't going to get into this rant, but I guess I am. It's so infuriating, excuse me, because there are so many things that have come out on Blu-ray in Japan that look amazing, that are so much more obscure, so much less likely to make a profit on Blu-ray and things like that. Like, Sunrise put out everything on Blu-ray, pretty much everything from their back catalogue, they're slowly putting out, no matter... You know, do you think frickin' the majority of, like, Sunrise giant robot shows from, like, the 80s and stuff are more profitable, or likely to be more profitable, than fucking Sailor Moon, Slam Dunk, Saint Seiya, like, all the things I've mentioned 100 times over now? Like, no, obviously not. Like, it's so annoying. So what are Toei doing? Like, what are they, like, it's so short-sighted. Like I said, even if the Blu-ray doesn't make a profit, one, you can release it over and over and over again. You can do special editions. Like, these shows also, you know, you license them out worldwide. Like, Saint Seiya is going to be snapped up by every country imaginable that apparently doesn't speak English, because people in English have no taste. Saint Seiya is great, by the way. I don't know why it can't sell in English, it's mad. Anyway, but, you know, like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball especially, like, freaking, how has that happened? How has Dragon Ball Z not been worthy of a Blu-ray, a proper Blu-ray? We got a little bit, the level sets, that was done by Funimation, though. And I don't know why Funimation Crunchyroll also don't deem it worth their time either. Like, it's maddening. Absolutely insane. What is it with Toei? What is it with Toei? Anyway. Captain Harlock's coming to Blu-ray, so that's cool. I'm not sure if that rant made any sense whatsoever. It's just... it's so annoying. It's so... I have to let it go for this video. I have to let it go. But God, is it annoying. I guess I didn't... There's one thing I didn't mention, right? Film negatives have a lifespan. And a lot of them are probably already pushing it, depending on how they've been stored. You know? These things won't last forever. They'll literally deteriorate, right? Literally. So, like, you either do the work now while you still can, and then profit from it forever, because you've got digital versions, or you just let these things, beautiful things, deteriorate and then all you've got forever is your smeary upscale. Like, fucking do the work. Do the work. I don't understand. Like, Blu-ray came out in I am apparently going back into this rant. Blu-ray came out in 2006, right? We've had some form of high definition available to profit from for companies since 2006, right? 18 years. 18 years Toei have had to slowly spread it out, these things. And they've done that, but they've only done it as smeary upscales. Like, Captain Harlock came out on Blu-ray, like, what, 2 years ago or something in Japan? 1.5 years ago or something? And that's what they did. 17, 16 years into the fucking format, that's what they shat out. Fucking upscaled Captain Harlock. 42 episodes. You can't be bothered to do it? Like, why? Fucking why? I think, like, oh. It's so annoying. It's so... Okay, I really do have to move on. Okay. And breathe. Okay, so next up we've got Reborn Special Fan Disc. Like, this is a really cool thing that Discotek are doing. I don't give a crap about Hitman Reborn. I've not watched it. I haven't heard the most amazing things about it. One of my best friends, Dave Rock Itachi's watched it. RGI the anime guy. I guess links in the description since I mentioned him, or in the pin comment. He's seen it and he kind of didn't like it. So, or at least didn't like quite, you know, the parts of it, like mainly the little baby hitman thing kind of annoyed the crap out of him. So anyway, but it's a beloved show for a certain generation of people that watched it. It was their shonen show basically, so I get it. Discotek have put it out on Sound Def Blu-ray, all 200 episodes, but they're doing a special fan disc which is going to include the first episode and like a couple of other like key early episodes that have been dubbed by Kocha Sound, I think it is. I think it was Kocha, I can't remember. Anyway, as well as the OVA that they didn't previously have the license for, so that's coming out and is being dubbed into English as well. And I think they've all been Astro-Resed as well and upscaled to Blu-ray, I think, so they're not standard def anymore. So it's kind of cool, and they said this isn't the last one they're doing. They're going to do it for some other stuff. Now, I don't know if they'll do it for stuff that I care about. I'm trying to think of like the things that they've put out which would be in the sort of ballpark range for doing this. Like Galaxy Express, I guess, would be one. But again, like, I kind of feel like, okay, but, you know, you can't really... You could dub those and that would be cool. Like a couple of episodes, that would be cool. Key episodes. I would certainly be interested in that. I think a lot of people would be. But again, like, how do you get Toei on board with that? They might not like that. They might not like you putting out just 3 random episodes or something. So, like, I don't know. But, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I would be interested in. Like a Galaxy Express one, or, you know, Galaxy Express and Captain Harlock one, even after all the... after all the Toei ranting I just did. I'm not really sure. I'm actually trying to think, wrap my brain or whatever around what Discotek would put out that kind of fits this. And those are kind of like, that's really one of the things that immediately comes to mind, because you think, okay, if you're going to do a special fan disc, which, you know, presumably means you're going to be dubbing stuff, but only a couple of episodes or something. It needs to be something that's long to begin with, otherwise people are just going to go... Yeah, you wouldn't put out a special fan disc of like a 26 episode series with only 3 episodes dubbed, because I just feel like people go, well, surely you would just dub the whole thing if you're going to even bother to do that. I don't know. Or even like a 12 episode series for sure in that sense. So like, it has to be a really long show, and I kind of think of the ones that Discotek have put out that are really long, majority of them are like obscure giant robot shows from the 70s and 80s, which I don't think really... I mean, I think it would be cool for them to do that, but I just don't think anyone's going to buy a special fan disc of freaking like Voltes 5 or God Mars or something, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like, Galaxy Express jumps to mind, but I'm not really sure about anything else. Lupin stuff, I guess. They could do Lupin Part 2. I think I mentioned that when they announced this, actually. Yeah, Lupin the Third Part 2. They could do a special fan disc of some of the better episodes from the second half of the show, which never got dubbed. So you could do, yeah, a release of that, of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, of some of the better episodes getting a dub from the old Pioneer cast, the Richard Epcar cast or whatever. So yeah, yeah, that's the only thing that really jumps to mind. But anyway, yeah, Reborn special fan disc. I'm curious about it, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't have Hitman Reborn even. So unless I decide to jump in on that, not really much reason for me to do it. Okay, so next up was Dallas on Blu-ray. I have the DVD here, so we're getting a Blu-ray upgrade. This has been released a couple of times in HD before. There was a HD TV version that got fan sub back in the day. I assume they said like the Blu-ray, they kind of hinted that it was a newer transfer. So I think it's been remastered again, which is kind of cool. So yeah, Dallas is pretty cool because this is the first ever OVA. It's kind of interesting actually. I went into this on the with my friend Dave yesterday, because Justin in the stream, I think it was Justin, said, this is the first OVA, but the one that didn't have it wasn't hentai at least. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is actually the first OVA, just outright. And I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure that is the case. This came out first. This came out in December, and the first hentai OVA, from what I understand, came out in February of the year after. So this came out in 1983, and the first hentai OVA was February 1984, I believe. So I'm pretty sure this is definitely 100% the first OVA, regardless of hentai or anything. So yeah, Dallas. Pretty cool Memoryoshi sci-fi drama set on the moon, with this really cool visual here, the astronaut walking through a graveyard on the moon with the Earth in front of him. It's a super cool image. I think it's on the moon anyway. Yeah, rebellion brewing on the dark side of the moon. So yeah, apparently the Remembering Dallas documentary that's on here and pilot film aren't going to be included on the new Blu-ray release, so if you have this DVD you should keep it. But yeah, they're not dubbing it, but unfortunately, but yeah, Dallas is really cool, and I would definitely be double dipping to get the Blu-ray. The opening theme to this is one of my favourites. It's dun 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 dun. It sounds so epic, and it's got such cool visuals to it. It's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to 23 minutes in, what the fuck? I have to go faster. Okay, then we got Giant Gorg. It's coming to Blu-ray. Really, really cool. Love this show. Really great action adventure giant robot show from Sunrise. So yeah, it looks great on Blu-ray. Fucking Toei. Sunrise doing the business. It looks great on Blu-ray. Really, really cool, as most Sunrise things do look on Blu-ray. And yeah, this is just a really, really fun show. It's one of my favourite giant robot shows in the 80s, sorry. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. There is a lull in the middle, but that's kind of expected for a lot of these giant robot shows. There's a bit in the middle where it gets into the trope of just like, we're running away and being chased a lot, which is kind of what happens in a lot of giant robot shows after a while, or mecha shows in general. Like we're going from A to B and we're being chased by people throughout every episode, and there's a little confrontation in every episode. That's kind of like a thing. It's definitely a Gundam thing, and I feel like it was a thing in this for a little while in the middle. So I kind of like sort of started to not enjoy it as much in the middle, but then it ramps back up again. And it has one of my favourite ever episodes. I can't remember which one it is specifically. How many episodes is it? 600 minutes. I think it's like 24 episodes then, or 25. I think it's around like the early 20s, like 21, 22, 23 sort of thing. There's a really cool episode in this. I was just on the edge of my seat from what I remember. It's like I remember writing on my anime list that in the forum that was one of the best episodes of anime I've watched, period. I was so into it. So yeah, it's a really cool show. I really like how it starts out. It starts out in like Manhattan, New York and stuff, and they go on like a road trip and all that. Yeah, it's a really, really fun show. I highly recommend it. It's come to Blu-ray, so you should definitely pick this one up. If you're going to pick up any classic giant robot stuff from the 80s, Giant Gorg is definitely one of the ones to go for. So yeah, happy it's coming to Blu-ray. We'll double dip and then unfortunately let go of this really cool looking Blu-ray, but it'll be worth it to get it on Blu-ray. Sorry, let go of this really cool looking DVD. It'll be worth it to get it on Blu-ray. Okay, next up is Space Musketeer Bismarck, which is a really cool one. Again, Really good Blu-ray. This looks amazing on Blu-ray. I've seen some of the little clips of it from the Japanese Blu-ray or whatever. There's a HD version around, and it looks really, really cool. It has one of my favourite openings. I mentioned this on Twitter as well. I was sort of like foolishly worried that they weren't going to put this one out in its original Japanese, because they announced like Saber Rider and the Space Sheriff or whatever the freaking hell it's called, like the cartoon adaptation, and they put that out on standard def Blu-ray, and I was sort of just weirdly worried, because that was like a year and a bit ago, if not longer. I was just kind of thinking, maybe they're just not going to do Bismarck for some reason. Like, I don't know, maybe if Saber Rider doesn't sell well enough, they just won't bother with Bismarck or something. I don't know, there was just something that made me worried that they weren't going to do it. So I was really happy. This is probably one of my highlights of the entire panel, frankly. Just because I was, worried that we weren't going to get this at all. So it's another Sunrise giant robot show from the 80s. On Blu-ray. I'm really glad that they got back into the Sunrise stuff. There was a period there where we just went a long time without any Sunrise mecha shows from the 80s coming out, despite them all getting great Blu-rays in Japan and stuff. But now it's starting to ramp up again with Giant Gore, Bismarck, Sentai have just announced Panzer World, Galleon, which is really cool. So yeah, really happy to get Bismarck. Looking forward to it immensely. Great opening. Next, Chi the Brat second series. I think I mentioned in the past, again maybe on Twitter, I can't remember, I mentioned it somewhere, I'm pretty sure, that when they announced the first series, which I haven't been able to get my hands on yet because of the Crunchyroll freaking stock thing, but yeah, the Chi the Brat, when they announced the first series and actually called it first series, I was sort of wondering, oh, that's cool, that probably means they're going to be putting out the one in the 90s, otherwise why would you just call it first series if you unless you need to differentiate it, if that's how you say that word, from the second series that came out in the 90s. So yeah, they're doing that. It's not done by Takahata, that's not how you say his name, the guy from Studio Ghibli. My brain, been talking for too long. My brain is melting. Anyway, yeah, so that's not how you pronounce his name, but the guy from Studio Ghibli, Isao Takahata, I'm pretty sure. Whatever, if it's not, I'll put it under there. Yeah, not directed by him, but still, it's like a 43, I can't remember how many episodes is around that, from like 1993, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just cool that we're getting it. Another cool little show to get from Discotek. I'm looking forward to it. I think they said the quality of the show just in general is not as good, video and like just quality of the actual episodes and stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely be picking that up. I'm really looking forward to watching it. So after that, we're getting Great Teacher Onizuka again on Blu-ray this time, or standard definition on Blu-ray. So not quite as exciting as a Blu-ray, but I have these, which are kind of a not weird little thing that came out back in the day. These are the Tokyo Pop releases, but these are the ones that Funimation did. There was a little period where Funimation put out some of the Tokyo Pop releases, and they did re-releases of them. So yeah, this is what my version of GTO has been for a long time. I used to have the art boxes that Tokyo Pop did, but I sold those to condense it down to this. And then when Discotek did a DVD which condensed it down even further, I was tempted, but I just never bothered. These are quite nice. So yeah, I just never bothered, but the standard definition Blu-ray I think will push me over the edge to sell these, unfortunately, and get that version, especially since they said that they're using a Japanese video this time, so it should look slightly better and things like that. So yeah, it's cool, it's back in print, it's a classic show. So unfortunately I'll never get a proper Blu-ray, but sometimes them the breaks, like in this sense, like it's got lots of digital shots in it and things like that, and just weird compositing, I can't remember how to say that, things like that. So yeah, anyway, Great Teacher Onizuka, great comedy, one of the classics of the 90s, absolutely love it. It's been a long time since I've watched it though, so I've been looking, it has been in the back of my mind to go back to in the relative, like I almost did actually last year, so I would like to do that again soon. Maybe I'll wait for the standard definition Blu-ray since it's going to be coming out pretty soon, but yeah, Great Teacher Onizuka. Okay, Digimon Season 2 for the Japanese cut. looks amazing, Astro-Resed and upscaled. I don't give a shit about Digimon. I just don't. I didn't grow up with it, so I just have no interest in it. Like, I watched Pokemon back in the day for a bit when I was a kid. Mainly just Indigo League and a little bit of Orange Islands, I think. But yeah, in terms of like the monster hunting, like classic anime stuff, I'm like, Pokemon is the only one I'd like to watch all the way through, like the original 276 episodes for Pokemon, and then just leave it at that. That's been my goal, but I haven't really done it. I've watched like 64 episodes, which is basically most of Indigo League. There's only about 12 episodes left of Indigo League or something to watch. But yeah, like, I never experienced Digimon back in the day. I literally don't even remember seeing it on television. I must have just literally grown out of it as it came about, because it came out, at least in terms in the UK, I swear it like hit popularity about a year or two later. But yeah, I remember some people talking about it on like the playground and shit like that, but I have no recollection of it at all. And then I remember seeing some of the video games. I think one of my friends had one of the video games. I remember it looking cool, but I just didn't care about it at that point. Kind of grown out of it, I guess. Like, just the appeal of it had left me. So yeah, I just have no nostalgia for Digimon, basically. These Astro-Res versions look really, really cool. I did try watching Digimon, like the original series, dubbed, a whiles back, like a long time ago now, actually. But like, I got about halfway through it, then I just gave up. I just don't care. I'm kind of interested in Digimon Adventure Try. Those movies look kind of cool, I guess. You know, in a world of infinite money and infinite space, I would probably pick them up because the Astro-Res versions look really, really cool, and it'd just be cool to have the option. You know, if I ever decide I would like to see it, it'd be cool to be able to pull it off the shelf and watch it. But I just don't foresee that happening, really, to be honest. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I hate thinking about it because it's just one of those things I've been thinking about a lot lately, as I try to think about what I need to keep and what I don't. It's just like this. Yeah, it's sort of like almost questioning your own mortality. I hate it. Where you just kind of like, okay, I could buy Digimon, but like, I'm only gonna be on this earth for like hopefully about, you know, give or take 30, 40 more years. Do you really think you're going to watch Digimon in that time against everything else you could be watching instead? You know, would I pick Digimon rather than just rewatch one of my absolute favourite anime? Would I actually ever, you know, given that choice, you know, what do I want on my shelf? You know, something I really love, or the option to watch Digimon, which I probably won't like. You know, it's horrible thinking like that sometimes, but that is sometimes how it comes down to it. I'm like, okay, I can't buy Digimon because I just don't think I'll watch it. It's not worth it. So yeah, anyway, that was a weird place to go, but we went there. Okay, Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha Strikers. This is one that I just don't care. I just don't care. It's really great where this is all coming out. This is a 26 episode series. This is the first one that is coming out for the first time. Sorry about this fucking dog. Hate that thing. Sorry. Yeah, so the first two series obviously came out from Genium back in the day, dubbed, and Discotek have put those out recently, again on Blu-ray, and this is and they've also been putting out the more modern films, but yeah, this is the first TV series they're putting out that came out in between those that has never been, you know, released officially on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever before in English. But yeah, I just don't care about. I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm a bloke with a ginger beard and everything, and like, whatever, look like a farmer, sort of thing, you know. And yeah, magical girl stuff doesn't appeal to me. What a surprise! I guess it just doesn't really appeal to me a whole lot. It's not supposed to anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, like, I always thought it would a little bit more than even that it does. You know, like, I watched Madoka Magica back in the day and thought, yeah, that was good, even though that's like supposed to be one of the better ones. I watched 12 episodes of Sailor Moon. I keep thinking I need to watch it. It's insane that I've watched 2,000 things on my anime list, and not one of those is Sailor Moon, one of the most famous anime of all time. But like, I've got Sailor Moon on DVD. I need to watch it, and I think I would like it relatively. Usagi's a pretty fun character, but like, yeah, just in general, I'm not someone's going to be getting a lot of magical girl stuff, and yeah, at some point it's just, yeah, at least in the case, unlike Digimon, I find it a lot easier to go, yeah, I will probably never watch Magical Girl Nanaha, and that's fine. And if I do, I'll just watch it by other means. I don't need to own it. Speaking of things I don't need to own, Kiss X Sis TV is coming out. So it's a TV series that either preluded the OVA or came out afterwards. I have no idea. This is an ecchi comedy about two stepsisters that want to sleep with their stepbrother. And they fight over it, and yeah. That's coming out. Okay, moving on. Next up we got Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. So this is kind of cool because obviously this is based on the Level 5 video game, Professor Layton. Came out a while ago. It's done by the studio, one of my favourite studios, as I mentioned in prior videos. PA Works did this one, Progressive Animation Works. Yeah, PA Works, amazing studio, so this looks insane. It looks just like the video game. In terms of like how well they've brought it to life and stuff. I did watch this one back in the day. I'm going to be honest, like I haven't played a whole lot of Professor Layton. I had the original game on my DS back in the day and I loved it. I don't know if I ever finished it though, but I did love it. There's been so many since. I would love to play those. It'd be really cool if they put those out as a collection somewhere. I think a lot of people have been saying that for a while. Obviously they are doing a new one on the Switch, or probably the Switch 2, I imagine. In the future, which is really cool. But yeah, I've seen this film anyway, and you know, like I said, I played the original game. I knew the voice actors, at least in terms of, I recognise their voices. Don't know them personally, given they're British. I don't actually know them personally, but yeah, I recognised all that stuff. And yeah, it's a fun film. Professor Layton fangirls and fanboys are obviously going to enjoy it a whole lot, and it's great. It's come out on Blu-ray the first time in America. It actually has come out on Blu-ray in the UK before in the past, but yeah, even like in a big collector set, I seem to recall. I never got a copy. I had the one that, this is kind of cool. The one time that I've seen this film, I saw it on television. It was on in television in the UK. So yeah, like I watched this on television. A Professor Layton film was on television in the UK, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's the only time I've seen it. And yeah, I'll probably be picking up this Blu-ray, given it's a PA Works show, British dub, fun film, great acting, like beautiful art style, like just so like relaxing, comforting, whatever. So yeah, Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. It was a fun film, so yeah, I'll be picking that one up. And then we get to the final thing from the original Otakon panel. I can't believe this video is so long, it's insane. I really hoped I wasn't going to talk this long, but I have. Anyway, so yeah, the last up is they're doing Kite on Blu-ray, which is cool. I'm not going to lie, guys. I was kind of disappointed that this is their one last thing. Like, from the actual, like, if you went to Otakon panel, like, live in person, that they did, this was their one more thing. And like in the past, their one more thing has been like Urusei Yatsura and things like that. And like Kite is a seminal like OVA, but as I have here, it has already come out on Blu-ray before. So this is Kite Liberator, which I picked up just for the sake of it. But yeah, this is not going to be included in their new version. I assume if the license is available, they'll probably. I'd be interested to see if they Astro-Resed this and made it look cooler if they do a release of it. But anyway, so yeah, they're doing Kite. It's going to be like a complete version. This is the edited cut, if you will. This has none of the sex scenes in it, this copy. And then Media Blasters eventually did another version that came with the hentai, but the hentai scenes didn't bother with it. But yeah, this version from Discotek is going to be the integral version, as they call it. So yeah, the complete version. It'll have this version of the movie, it'll have the hentai version, and it'll have all that stuff Astro-Res, color graded for the scenes that didn't look very good in this, because unfortunately the film negatives were it's kind of weird. Like Discotek said, or Justin said, or someone said on the panel that those scenes were missing. But on the Blu-ray, and what I remember, Media Blasters talking about on Twitter and stuff as well, was that the scenes weren't missing, they were damaged. Which is obviously a bit different. Because if they're damaged, maybe they can be restored, and maybe that's not a thing that Media Blasters would do, but it is a thing that Discotek have done to some degree anyway. Like Angel Cop had damage, and they fixed it. You know, Project A-ko probably had some amount of damage, and they fixed it. Maybe not as significant as Angel Cop's, but I don't know. Like they do a bit of work, and I'm just wondering, that might be something that Media Blasters didn't think was worth their time or could do or whatever. But it is a thing that Discotek might do, and I'm just wondering. I was worried that there might have been a miscommunication somewhere where they were under the impression that those negatives, those scenes in particular in this that are upscaled, were missing, which is not how I interpreted it, at least from the disc and what I remember being talked about back in the day. But I, of course, could be wrong, or very wrong, or just completely wrong. I could be wrong. But that was just how I interpreted it. So I was when I was watching it, I was like, that missing? I didn't think they were missing. So I was sort of disappointed that this isn't coming out fully, properly, you know, complete with full film negative scans all the way through, and like maybe Discotek had gone through and fixed those damaged sequences, but yeah, apparently not. So if they are missing, which I'll have to take them at their word on that, obviously, because what the fuck do I know? So yeah, if there are missing, those scenes are being upscaled again, but they're being astro res and color graded, so they look much better. Because in this, it's really, really I can't think of the right word right now, but like distracting, I guess. Like you're watching it and literally from scene to scene, cut to cut. Like there's a bit where I can't remember her name, but the main girl is like falling out of a building, like a high rise, and she's like smashing through all these things as she falls down. And in this, a lot of those scenes are upscaled. So you'll get like beautiful film negative version, and then like very quick like half a second bit where it's like upscaled, and then back to beautiful film negative, and then upscaled. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking, are you sure that stuff is missing? Because you've got like perfect, and then maybe this tiny bit here had a bad scratch on it or a splodge or whatever, and Media Blasters just like, oh, we haven't got the equipment to fix this, or the time, or we just don't think it's worth it, so we'll just upscale this tiny bit, and then, you know, we'll go back to the beautiful film negative that's pristine at the moment. Like, things like that. Like, that whole sequence of her falling down through a high-rise is literally, like I said, film negative, upscale, film negative, upscale, film negative, upscale, and it's like shot. Like, in the space of, like, 10 seconds, it probably flips between them, like, 3-4 times or something. And I'm just like, are you sure that stuff is missing? Like, it'd be really weird to have a thing, and then that little bit missing, You know, maybe it's damaged beyond repair. Maybe it literally was missing. I just find that weird. You know, I just find that slightly strange. There are scenes later on, like there's a scene in like a toilet in the episode 2 or whatever, which I won't go into because it's gross. But like, I'm pretty sure there's a scene in there where like 2 minutes of it are basically just upscaled, and like that I could believe would be missing, because that's a large chunk. There's a possibility that chunk is missing, but again, like, it's just not. It's not normal to have like a film negative and have bits missing. Damaged, yes. Missing, no. So I don't know what happened. Maybe that was just something that happened. Maybe the film. I know that Media Blasters got the film negatives and did the scan themselves, and then that got sent back to Japan, and maybe Japan did something weird where they literally cut those bits. Oh, those bits are damaged. Okay, we'll just splice that shit out. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. Obviously, I can't know. But yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying it would be weird for those specific bits to be missing. But whatever. It's cool that Kite's coming out again. We're getting a complete version. I will probably get it, or I will get it, and then probably sell this, I suppose. Which is kind of a shame, because I kind of like having like a Media Blasters release on Blu-ray. Like, I just sometimes, yeah, when something's like, I mean, I suppose now it's not uncommon for Media Blaster stuff to be on Blu-ray, but like back then when this came out, it was sort of like a more unique thing to have, so I thought it was kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, Kite's coming to Blu-ray. I said my spiel about it, I guess. Like, it's cool. I was sort of disappointed though that was their one last thing, at least for the main panel anyway. Because yeah, I just sort of expected something a bit more sizable, you know, something to really go crazy over, where, you know, it's already come out on Blu-ray. It's cool, and I'm sure their version will be better, but I wasn't like mind blown or anything, because nothing about it was that. You know, and they didn't mention any like significant new extras. I mean, they said like they'd have a gallery, which, I mean, this says it already has that, like storyboard art gallery. And it's got interviews, which I think you know, this has got the interviews. I assume the new version will have it. You know, this is the sort of thing that would be cool if it got a commentary, because, you know, it's historical and important enough. You know, it's only like 45-50 minutes long or something. Like, definitely you could do a commentary and have enough to talk about in that time. So yeah, great. And then, yeah, the panel ended and then it continued. So after that we got something really cool. There's 2 more anime things. So we got Humanoid Monster Bem. So this is a 1960s TV series that's coming out on Blu-ray. So this is only the 2nd time we're getting a 1960s show on Blu-ray. And I believe this is only the 3rd time that we're getting a 1960s TV series in Japanese with English subtitles. Obviously we got Speed Racer, we got Dororo, we got Mark Go 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 Go, obviously not Speed Racer, but yeah, Mark Go Go Go, and then Dororo, and now we're getting this 1968 series. This one's colour. Dororo is obviously black and white, but yeah, this series was done in colour. And they described it sort of like Scooby-Doo, but like instead of like having Fred and the crew solving the mysteries, instead you got like yokai monsters solving the mystery. It's kind of interesting. This series did get a reboot a couple of years ago that Crunchyroll Funimation put out. There's a TV series and a movie, dubbed and everything. I wasn't necessarily going to go and get those, or I wasn't going to rush out to get those, but now I feel like I might, just so I can have, you know, the original classic series from the 60s, because I'm definitely buying it, and then I'll probably have, you know, the modern one next to it. So it's kind of cool that this is coming out in that sense. This is probably like my highlight of the whole panel, in terms of like, this is the thing I wouldn't have expected. Like, this was the one left of field sort of announcement. I was like, whoa, okay, that's really cool. It's not like the most mind-blowing, like, makes up for the rest of the panel, which, to be honest, like, I was like, it's a good panel, but it was, a lot of it is re-releases. I mean, just going, I know we haven't finished going through everything, but like, Captain Harlock is a re-release, Reborn is a re-release, Dalos is a re-release, Giant Gorg is a re-release, Bismarck is, well, it's not a re-release, is it? Because it's the original Japanese version. Cheetah Brat is new. Great Teacher Onizuka is a re-release. Digimon Adventure 02 is kind of a re-release, but not really, I guess. So, yeah, again, I suppose that's new. Nanohara is new, but not amazing. Kiss X Sis is new, but not amazing. Professor Layton is a re-release of sorts, although it's coming to Blu-ray for the first time. So, and yeah, and then Kite is a re-release, even on Blu-ray. So, yeah, then we got Humanoid Monster Bem. So yeah, that was pretty much the highlight for me. And it's really, really cool it's coming out. I'm super psyched for that in particular, and it gives me hope for other things. This studio that made this show in Japan, I can't remember their name right now. The only other thing they did, I can't even remember the name. I'm gonna have to look it up. Give me a sec. Yeah, sorry, I keep looking at my iPod, like looking down there while making the video, but obviously that's where I got a lot of the information. Anyway, yeah, they made another show. Daiichi Doga is the name of the studio. Yeah, 1967 to 1968, so a year before, they made a show. I don't know, sure you'll be able to see it, probably not. But they made a show called Ugon Bat or Phantoman. This is literally the only other thing they made. The hero, like the gold. Can you see it? Kind of like that, yeah. So, yeah, this is the other show they made. It's twice the length though. It's like 52 episodes. But this also came out on Blu-ray. So I wonder, you know, if we're going to get this show as well on Blu-ray, which would be kind of insane. I don't know, it is twice the length, so maybe they'll wait and see how Monster Hunter Bem does. Interesting thing about Monster Hunter Bem I've forgotten about is that not only is the modern version, but there is actually a version from 2006 as well, which I just noticed when I was going through this. Yeah, so there's a 2006 TV series as well for Monster Hunter Bem, or Yokai Ningen Bem, isn't it? And a 2017. Oh, okay. There's also, they're only 3 minutes an episode. Whatever, there's also a 2017 series which has the classic characters in it. I think the modern version of Bem is like a modern version where they changed all the characters in terms of their designs and stuff and like modernize it. Anyway, that came out in 2019. Christ, that was ages ago. That does not feel like that long ago. Anyway, Yeah, so that was one of the highlights from the panel for me. I need my notepad back to continue doing this. Okay, and the final thing is Groiser X, which is the Go Nagai giant robot show I was hoping for. Sort of. Actually, it's not, like, but it's, you know, I wanted another Go Nagai robot show. It'd been a while. At least it felt like it had been a while. So yeah, we got Groiser X. I don't know what's going on with Get a Robo. Like, I'm glad Groiser X is coming out. 1976 series, like 36 episodes, I think it is. Yeah, that's really cool. That's coming out. Another giant robot show from the 70s, super robot show. Definitely will be buying that, obviously. Let's go with all the others. I actually haven't watched any of them yet. I got like Voltes 5, fucking, no, I can't remember that. Downtannius and all this stuff. I got all that stuff. But, Combatala free. Free. Victory. Combine. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got that one as well. Combatala 5. Yeah. I haven't watched any of them though yet. I really need to do that. But yeah, Groiser X is coming out, which is cool. But yeah, what is going on with Get Robo? Like, all those shows I'm pretty sure I just mentioned, including Groiser X, are Toei shows? I can't remember if Groiser X is Toei. I won't be bothered to look it up right now. I'll put a thing down here if it's not. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Get Robo. Like, it's like the one. Like, they've done all of Mazinger. They've done like the Romance trilogy. They've done, like I said, like Combat the 5, yeah, the Voltes 5, the Daltanius, Future Robot Daltanius. So yeah, I think, is that all of the Romance trilogy? I can't remember. Is Combat the 5 a Romance trilogy? I can't remember. I don't think it is, but it might be. But I don't think it is. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, they've done like basically everything else. It feels like everything else other than Get a Robo and technically Grendizer as well. Like the two big other ones to go with Mazinger. So they've done everything Mazinger, including all the Meisenkaiser stuff as well, but they haven't done Get a Robo past. They've done all the modern Get a Robo stuff as well, which is the weird thing. Like Get a Robo Armageddon, New Get a Robo, Shin versus Neo Get a Robo, whatever. Like they did all those. Obviously there's the early 90s series, Get a Robo Go, or whatever it is as well, which they haven't done. But yeah, like all the 70s stuff. Like Get a Robo G, and like if they do those, there's all those crossover films as well they could do, which all have like beautiful HD scans as well, because Toei can do it occasionally, apparently, but only for like really old giant robot shows. It's just weird. Anyway, fucking Toei. Yeah. So lots of yeah. I don't understand what's going on with Get Robo. But anyway. That's all the anime. We talked about all the anime, and this video is literally an hour, which is almost the amount of time it took them themselves to talk about all the anime. I wanted this video to be short, and it hasn't been short. It's mad. So we're going to really skip through the next stuff, because honestly, I don't really have a lot to say about it. I don't think I've picked up any of the Nihon Nights live action film stuff yet. I know a lot of you do really like that stuff and it's cool. It's just not really in my wheelhouse. A lot of the stuff they're picking up, it just doesn't really interest me that much. Like when it comes to like live action Japanese film especially, I'm kind of really only interested in like the real classic like movies from like the 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't know why, it's just kind of how like been programmed that way. Like that's the stuff that I've always thought, oh, that's worth checking out. Like all the Kurosawa stuff, you know, the can't remember his freaking, like Ozu, isn't it Ozu stuff? Like I really like all that stuff, like Tokyo Story and all that. I love all those. Yeah, yes, I like all the Kurosawa stuff. At least the stuff I've seen so far. You know, and then there's things like, you know, Sancho the Bailiff and Ugetsu Monogatari, like all these really cool, classic old samurai feudal Japan stuff as well. So, yeah, I've just not got into any modern Japanese films. I don't know why, but anyway, so we're going to go over what they've announced. So, the Nihon Night stuff, they're doing Party 7, which looked weird as fuck. Deliberately so, I'm pretty sure. Apparently it's a relatively modern film. It didn't look like it, to me anyway. It looked like it was early 2000s to me, but they said that it was pretty modern. Had some cool animation in it. I can't remember who the director of the animation guy was for that. Val knew, but I can't remember what it was. I'll put it here. Thanks, Val. Because I'll probably look at your tweet in order to find that information again. But yeah, so... yeah, but Party 7, not particularly interested in that, to be honest. Dororo though, I mean, where is it? Dororo Omnibus manga, and then the 2 TV series, of which I've not watched yet, actually. I have read the manga, really loved it. For some reason I got around to watching these, but yeah, I've got the original 60s show that Discotek put out on DVD, and then the Sentai version, or the Sentai release of the modern Dororo. So yeah, I will definitely be buying that, at least, the Dororo movie, for sure, because, you know, I like me some Tezuka stuff, if it wasn't obvious. So yeah, yeah, I'll definitely be buying that. That's really cool. Apparently it's a really good movie as well. I mean, that's the way they build it, is that, you know, unlike a lot of the Japanese, you know, films that, you know, tend to try and look big budget without being big budget, this is one of the ones where, yeah, it's not big budget, but it actually does look it. It looks like it's a big budget feature. So yeah, Dororo looks really, really cool. Roro Geisha looks fun, but it's the sort of things like, I don't want to own it. Like, I might want to see that one day because it looks fucking ridiculous, but I have no intent. That is a one and done. I don't think I'd ever want to watch that again. Electric Dragon 80,000 volts is the same. Again, it looks super fun, super cool, but that's a one and done. I don't think I'd ever want to see that movie more than once, because it doesn't look like it has a lot of substance to it. Like, I feel like, you know, anime is my main thing, so like I can't afford to have things as well in terms of money and space to have things in my collection, at least that aren't anime, that are kind of like in that sort of range where it's like, this is really cool, it'd be really nice to own it, but like if I'm ever only really going to watch it once and then it doesn't have this great substance, this draw to want to go back to it a lot, then it's just not worth having. So yeah, Electric Dragon 80,000 volts looks cool, but yeah. And then Kekko Carmen Trilogy, once again, sort of similar, although I mean, this looks shit. It really does. It looks like shit. I am more attracted to this one just because it's based in like the whole Go Nagai thing, and like I haven't seen Kekko Carmen, the original OVA, yet. I've owned it for years, and I know it's like full of nudity and ecchi stuff, and so are these like live actions versions as well. They were like straight to video back in the day, so they look pretty bad. I assume they were filmed on tape basically, so. Don't look particularly good, which is why they're on standard definition Blu-ray, but I don't know, there's something about that in particular that sort of find more alluring. I suppose like maybe it's just the sleaze of it, maybe. I don't know, it's just slightly more alluring, but again, probably not going to get it, but I don't know, if I get any of the others, it might be that one. And then Ouran High School Host Club, which is apparently a sequel to the drama series, but then they kind of wanted to say, like, don't expect us to put out the drama series. But yeah, this is the movie, and they kind of said that the movie you don't need to see the TV series to enjoy it, especially since there was like a little special, I think they said, on the extras that kind of tells you everything that happened in the TV series if you need it, that leads up to the movie as well. So, but yeah, again, like, we're on a High School Host Club, great classic romantic comedy, anime, manga back in the day that I liked. The one time I saw it, I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's not something that really stuck with me over time, but I know it's a classic, and I'm happy for those that really enjoy that franchise that they get in this movie. Okay, I suppose before we get into the Tokusatsu stuff, maybe we'll talk about, I've already put us on this road, so Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, MXC, we just went over the hour mark, what the fuck. Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, so this is Takeshi's Castle with like a dub, basically, a comedic dub. I had barely any recollection of this. It might have been on television here in the UK a couple of times back in the day. I know Takeshi's Castle was on television here in the UK, and instead of it being dubbed like this, we basically just had it was actually Craig Charles, Lister from Red Dwarf, would talk over it and basically just laugh and joke about what was going on and like things like that. And yeah, it was humorous, but maybe not quite, not as much effort as this seemingly was. But I feel like I've seen some of this version before as well, possibly on television here in the UK. I don't know if this show was on Spike TV or like MTV or something in America. I don't know where it actually came from. They probably mentioned it, but I can't remember. Yeah, I just wonder if maybe it's something I saw on MTV here in the UK, maybe. I don't know. But it did look kind of funny from the clip I saw. But yeah, it's probably not something I'm going to bother with. It's really cool that it's coming out. I know that Val showcased her DVDs on Twitter for it. She had the complete collection, and now she'll be able to get much more compact versions and nicer, potentially nicer quality if she chooses, and like everyone else chooses who wants to get it. So yeah, it's cool it's coming out again. But yeah, I have no nostalgia or recollection of it at all. So anyway, so Tokusatsu time, I guess, to some degree. Right at the end, we've made it. Okay, Tokusatsu. I haven't dived into any of the Discotek Tokusatsu stuff. I've been tempted multiple times. But I was talking about this with Dave yesterday, that for me, I've been kind of trying to resist. I think I mentioned this on Twitter as well, because I kind of feel like I've been trying. There's only so much time, money, space in my collection, so anime takes up most of it because that's my focus. But the Tokusatsu stuff, I kind of have this weird thing in my brain that if I get one, I'll want to get all the others. I feel like if you get one, you're gonna want to get the others, because they're all they're not all part of the same franchise or series, obviously, or anything ridiculous like that. But yeah, they have all their own little separate series. But I just feel like once you get one, you're gonna kind of just want to get them all, and there's already been quite a few, and I just don't have the space or the time to watch it all. But so yeah, they announced Space Sheriff Shida, which apparently was a case of this one was, according to the Tokusatsu nerds, impossible to get for some reason. I don't know what that reason is. Maybe something to do with like an original English version back in the day of some kind. But yeah, they're putting that one out again on Blu-ray. It looks beautiful. They're doing Kamen Rider V3, which I think is weirdly the second Kamen Rider series, despite being called V3, but maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong on that. I don't really know anything about Tokusatsu stuff, not enough anyway. But I think they mentioned that, but maybe not. But yeah, that's like a 70s one, which is also coming to Blu-ray. It's pretty cool. Okay, let me get to the one that is sort of putting me on this, like, oh god, I'm worried. Because I kind of want this one, which is Android Kikaida, or Kikaida. Yeah, obviously I've seen the anime version, really liked it. I don't own the anime version because it's quite expensive to get, and it comes in a stupidly sized box set. Sort of hoping that now that Discotek have got this version, they might get the anime version, which would be really cool. But anyway, yeah, so I have some connection to Kikaida through the anime, and also I just really like the design. It's ridiculous, like this bright red, bright blue, yellow, like, depressed looking robot. I don't know, like, I just really like the design. It's one of my favourites. It looks really cool. So colourful. Yeah, so, and it's coming to Blu-ray. I will find it very hard not to buy that one. And I'm worried that once I buy that one, I'll want to buy all the others. Because the others look really cool. It's just, I've enjoyed some Tokusatsu stuff. Like, the only thing that I own is the Garo stuff that Kraken Releasing did, and I haven't watched it all yet. I haven't seen the second series, but I've seen all of this, and I loved all of it. Yeah, Garo is really, really cool. Obviously, I like the anime a lot, so that led me to wanting to buy these. And yeah, I did enjoy this chunk of it. I don't know why I've not watched season 2 yet. Just, yeah, haven't been able to fit it in, or just made time for it, which is kind of the thing, that's what I'm saying. That, yeah, I really would like to collect all this stuff, because I just think it's all so cool, and to get it all on Blu-ray is so cool. It looks cool, it looks fun, but it's about, they're all like 50 episodes each, at least, pretty much, and it's just kind of becomes this thing of like, where on earth do I fit this in, and find the time and the money and the shelf space for it all. But yeah, Android Kikaida, kind of think I might get that one. And then finally, Special Rescue Wind Spectre, which also looks super freaking cool. I think that was like a late 80s, early 90s show, part of a series, I think a trilogy of series under the Special Rescue label, I think they mentioned. I do have some of these fan subbed on my computer, So yeah, like I have a little bit of very tiny amount of knowledge from doing that about them. So yeah, I kind of recognised the name for this one, but obviously I've never seen any clips of it, but it looked really cool. So yeah, that would probably be quite high on my list if I were to get more if I buy Kakaida. But again, there's a kind of like a catch-em-all thing for me where I see them and just like, well, if I get one, I'll probably get all the others, because I mean they all look really cool, and why, like, none of them look worse than each other, so like I'll just get all of them, you know. And then you know, like there's all, you know, they've done 2 seasons Kamen Rider already, and there's how much Kamen Rider is there? There's loads. And then, oh, of course, what's the other really famous one? Ultraman. Well, Discotek aren't doing it, but Mill Creek are, and they've been putting out Ultraman stuff, like literally about 10-15 seasons of it on Blu-ray, like from the beginning, and that all looks really cool. And then there's the Super Sentai's Power Rangers stuff that Shout Factory did, and there's about 15 seasons of that they've put out on DVD. And then you kind of get where I'm coming from, where I'm just like, I'm really scared to buy one, because then I feel like, oh, I'll just get them all, why not? Anyway, I can't believe this video is over an hour, plus the Animego bit. That probably makes it like an hour and a half. I really, really didn't want to do it like this. It's also going to take way longer to edit as well as a result. Anyway, I blame Toei again, because that rant was probably a good 8-10 minutes of this anyway. I hope it wasn't, but it probably was. I don't know. So yeah, I think I kind of already touched on this. Like, overall, good panel, but maybe not the thing that I was sort of hoping it would be. Although they've kind of changed the way they do things. You know, they're only announcing stuff that's coming in the relatively near future. Like, they're really saving stuff till the moment. So like, oh, we've announced it, and oh, you can expect it to come out within like 3 months. Like, I'm pretty sure everything they announced here is like, you know, coming out this year, if not at the very latest like January, February of next year. So like within the next 6-7 months. So yeah, it was pretty good, you know, pretty good. Giant Gorg, Bismarck, Dalos Blu-rays, awesome. And then Humanoid, Monster Bem, and Groiser X, just more of what I love for Discotek to put out. Harlock is cool to be back in print, but we won't go back into that for the 12th time. Yeah, so it's all cool in the Dororo live action movie, and Kakaida. So yeah, it was cool. Obviously Lupin, the final TV special, all cool stuff. So I'm going to stop talking now, obviously, because I'm just talking for the sake of talking, it feels like at this point. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you really liked from the panel, what got you the most excited, and I'll try and make sure to comment and reply. I haven't been doing that lately, which is really bad. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know, I feel like after I leave it a certain amount of time, I kind of feel like, do they even care if I reply at this point? I'd like to still reply, but I'm worried like they'll be annoyed that it took me that long to begin with. So I don't know, whatever. I don't even know why I'm talking about this right now. It doesn't matter. I'm Blaze. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon for some more anime haul and the like videos. Do you like my Tezuka shelf? It's really cool. I do. It's awesome.